This episode of Pucks Out Podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Action 24/7, Tennessee's only local legal sportsbook. Use code Pucks Out when you make your first deposit, and our friends over at Action will give you your 50% deposit boost up to $800. That's right, up to $400 extra dollars when you use code Pucks Out. And once again, like always, some amazing promos for you to get in on. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, as well as Action's the Twitter and Instagram, to keep up with all the promos that are going on throughout the week. And did you know you can gamble with cash? Are you tired of waiting on your sports book? You won, but you can't get your money? No more waiting with Action 24/7. If you want to gamble with cash, deposit withdrawals, get started with Tennessee's local sportsbook today. Check out the link in the show description to find out how. Once again, use code PUCKSOUT, that's PUCKSOUT, when you make your first deposit, and our friends over at Action will give you a 50% deposit boost up to $800. What are you waiting for?
From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the most ridiculous podcast in sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hey-o.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold Mayday beer and let's get after it. Don't forget, Pucks Out is powered by Mayday Brewery, the official beer of Pucks Out Podcast. Bingo every Thursday, trivia every Tuesday. Tell them Pucks Out sent you. Hope to see you there. Check us out on Patreon to get all the uncut bits and get the show a day early. And check us out on Twitch to find us playing some games and talk some hockey, talking some nerd stuff. You know, how are you this week, buddy?
Doing good, man. Just tired. That trip last week was just exhausting. But good Memorial Day weekend. Got a little burn at the pool, so that's nice. It's always good to do. What about you, bro? How you been doing?
Good, man. The wife and I spent Memorial Day inside. We watched the new Harry Potter. It was all right. Just been hanging out, playing some games, doing some housework. Excited to, I think we've got a good bit of soccer games coming up over the next, month. So I'm excited to get out there. But yeah, so just let's get straight into it. But first, we got to get that fit check. What do you got today, dude?
Yeah, man. Rocking the old Natty Bow shirt that we got at,
nice.
I believe it was Route 1 Apparel. Is that right? Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Something like that. I mean, it was over in Fells Point, so gotta be rocking.
I think it was I think it was a store that sold Route 1 Apparel stuff.
Maybe so.
I don't think it was a Route 1 Apparel store. Yeah.
Anyway, shout out.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was that store with that real interesting upstairs.
Oh, great upstairs. Great bit. They gave us beers, to shop around. We spent way too much money there, though. We did not.
They gave my wife
drinks.
a Jack and Coke while we were there too. They were giving out cocktails.
And they gave us like Natty Bows. Like, we just spent like $200 here, boss man. Like, come on. I mean, obviously they said, well, we could have the rum and Coke too, but then we stuck with the Natty Bow. Now we're just complaining about it. But no, I get more compliments on this shirt than like in any. You can see like Mr. Bow is sliding, and then he's a catcher in some areas, and but then also keeping it fully Baltimore, keeping it fully Fells Point on him. I got the Cooper's Tavern hat, rocking the old Cooper's Tavern.
Nice.
Remember that dude went and dug those up on us because we were so we were so.
He had to like go next door and get some stickers and stuff.
He's like, bro. He's like, man. I was like, oh, we love that hat, and he was like, I think we're out over here. We're like, oh, no worries, bro. He's like, you dudes are super cool. Give me just a bit. And he goes next door to his partner bar. And hooked us up. That was the guy that told us the guy that stuck around there and pretended like he worked there didn't work there. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Because remember, I was like, hey, do you know this guy? And he like rolled his eyes. He's like, yeah, I know that guy.
So Baltimore's got some characters.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, got a nephew like me running around, Anyway, what you got, brother? What you got, man? I guess, I don't know if we do
Mr. Tennessee.
I don't know if we go the Chubbies, though. I mean, I got the Chubbies on too. So sorry.
Nice.
I just had to throw that out there.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm not saying I just got gym shorts and slippers on, but I am rocking that Mr. Middle Tennessee himself, Kevin Byer jersey on.
There you go.
No hat today. Just got a haircut, so not wearing the hat after a haircut.
Yeah, right.
I drive all the way to Murfreesboro. I drive 45 minutes for a haircut. I'm not wearing a hat on camera for a little bit.
There you go, bro. There you go.
But,
I mean, hey, do you, bro? Do you?
Yeah. Let's jump straight into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
Carolina surprisingly falls to the New York Rangers in Game 7. What an absolute ass-kicking that game was. I was keeping it up on it while I was streaming last night. The show comes out a couple days after we record. I was absolutely stunned. Like, every time I'd look up into the corner, I'd be like, oh, it's 3-0, 4-0. Now it's 5-1. Then it was 6-1. Absolutely insane. I think the final score was 6-2.
Yeah.
And
6-2.
What's crazy is before the game started, a Sportsnet reporter came out and said people were getting predictions. He's like, I checked it. He on Twitter, he posted it before the game started. He's like, I'm calling the Rangers win 6-2 tonight. Like, okay. Dude, give him the Powerball numbers.
Get him in there. Get him, or he could have just bet correct score, dude. I mean, he would have made some good money there. Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't expect it to be like a routing like this necessarily, but the writing was on the wall for the Rangers to win this series. I think. I mean,
yeah. And what a game that was Carolina's first home loss of the playoffs. What an absolute heartbreaker to lose.
I don't think they'd won an away game though. Win an away game.
Oh, very true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 100%, you had home ice advantage. They lost one home game, but it turns out you didn't win any road game. So I mean, yeah, it's gonna happen. New York is a really, really good team. I think Carolina's a good team too, but I just didn't think that the firepower seemed to be there for Carolina. The games they won, I think 2-1 game one, and then I think it was something similar 3-2, 3-1, something like that. Game two, and then go and lose on the road. It just didn't seem like Carolina was going to be able to pull it out to me. I mean, Shesterkin played really well.
Yeah.
Rangers guys turned it on when they needed to. I should have taken after that game one win for Carolina. I should have just taken that $17 cash out on my futures 100%. For them to win the cup. But not surprised. I mean, I think that you had Carolina moving on in our bracket challenge, and I had New York moving on in our bracket challenge. It happens. I mean, it could have gone either way. New York was just the better team. I mean, we got a good series in those semifinals.
Yeah, I haven't checked the bracket challenge to see how we're doing, to see how we are points wise. I'm sure we're still pretty close to each other because
I think you're winning.
I had Tampa going, you had Toronto going.
I did, and I think and I had the Panthers moving on, so I think you have a fair lead on me at this point. But yeah, some good hockey for sure. I mean, good to watch.
Amazing. Hey, there's a reason why it's the greatest playoffs in the world. Finland beats Canada to win gold in the IIHF. Mikael Granlund helps get that last goal for the game winner. Absolutely amazing team they have there over in Finland.
I'm so sorry. I do have a bracket challenge update. I've lied. We are very close. You're at 116. I'm at 113. So okay. I was just thinking you had. I was thinking you had boosted ahead a little bit from me, but I guess not. I guess that Rangers win really pushed me over the edge. So
oh yeah. But yeah, that's about it for news. Listen, not a lot of news is being released during the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm sure come, mid-June there's going to be a bunch of news to talk about. Let's jump to outside the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
Celtics move on to the finals. What's that?
Oh, sorry. I was asking what Mayday you drinking, bro?
Oh, got the redhead today, man.
Oh yeah, rocking the Yodelay Blue, dude. I need you to get me more of this. Nice. That's gonna be a top priority for sure. The summer months coming.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll let Ozzy know.
Let him know.
The Celtics move on to the finals to face the favorite, the Warriors. When I wrote this, I thought the Warriors would be heavy favorites. They're only 160 to win the series, so pretty good matchup, I think. My heart says Celtics. My brain says Warriors, but I'm gonna go Celtics in 7. What do you like this matchup?
I'm gonna go Celtics, or it's not Celtics. I'm gonna go Warriors in 6. And I'm leaning
realistically,
closer.
I think that
I'm leaning closer to 5 games than I am 6 games, but more wishful thinking for a good series. Warriors just seem to have too much. I mean, that game 1 of 100%. Of the Grizzlies series, where it felt like the Grizzlies controlled the game, everything was going their way. They were getting big time scores from both of their big time players. Draymond Green goes out in the second, and you look up in the fourth quarter, and the Warriors are just there with a very quiet 31 points from Jordan Poole, and Clay played terribly and abysmally.
It's so wild. And listen, I'm not a big NBA guy, but I do know that very rarely do you have a team that has so many superstars that are not seen because they have Steph Curry. You don't see some of these other guys as like the superstars. But if one guy's not going off, there's going to be one, maybe 2 other guys going off that can carry this team. If you go back to the the 90s, if Jordan was usually never off. But if there was ever a time when Jordan was off, I mean, you might be able to count on some of on like Pippen or to kind of step it up. But this is a team that, holy crap, they mesh well together and they just vibing out there. It is insane.
And I think this is one of the few sports where I think it matters a whole lot. I think they have the best coach remaining of the two. I mean, I think Steve Kerr is a phenomenal basketball coach, which makes a huge difference in some finals.
Do the Celtics still have Doc Rivers, or do they have someone else now?
Someone else. I mean, Doc Rivers was.
I don't know how long ago he was out.
I don't even know. I think it's. I want to say it's. I don't know if it's still Brad Stevenson. I want to say at the Celtics. Let me double.
But the fact that we don't even know probably says a lot.
Well, that says more about our, following of the NBA probably than it does. Let's see.
But while you look that up,
I'm sorry. He's the president of operations now. I'm going to see. So okay, go ahead.
Okay. Indy 500, didn't watch it, but Marcus Ericsson gets the win over that. Did you watch that?
Yeah, we watched it just Sunday afternoon. Nothing really else on, another game. It was great, man. I mean, the IndyCar is always fantastic. I'm always a big fan of watching that particular event. Not necessarily IndyCar and like general, but it's it was good. It was fun. It was fun to watch for sure. Definitely had a little money going, and got to see some late ending, heroics and wrecks. So it was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, always good to mention a big time event like that. We got
Nashville SC beats Colorado Rapids 3-1. Was that the game? There was a game that I wasn't able to watch, but I was able to keep up with it on the ticker, where they were up like 3 in the first half. Was that same game?
I'm not sure. I wasn't able to follow myself. I had to come back to it later and see. But I would imagine that was this past Saturday. But that brings them up to 6th in the West. So 6-4-4.
Nice.
Not looking bad. I mean, they keep winning games at home. They'll be able to maybe push that up.
So for the viewer at home who doesn't maybe follow along with MLS, the West is much heavier stacked than the East. Where would if you've got the stats in front of you, where would that how many points do they have, and where would that put them in the East?
Yeah, they have
the East goes.
They have 22 points, and they would be at 5th in the East.
Okay.
So roughly around there. But the team, they would have 22 points, and the teams above them would have 23, 23, 25, and 26. In the West, it is the teams above them 23, 24, 25, 25, and 29. But again, like you said, a lot more top heavy in the West. They're traditionally a much tougher conference. I mean, we sat up pretty close to the top all year last year in the East. They're holding their own for sure. I mean, there's not been really any teams that's gone out there and just dominated them. So it's just traditionally seen as a tougher conference, tougher side of the. I'm sure that can change at any time from year to year, but I mean, we got the the teams in LA, Galaxy, FC, FC Dallas, Real Salt Lake, Austin. Those are the teams that are sitting above us, but they've got still Seattle, Portland. Those are traditional powerhouses that are sitting below us right now. But yeah, so I mean, it's really impressive. We don't have a bad team. They're not putting bad product out there on the field. If you're in the Nashville area, or if you're just gonna be in the Nashville area, and that there might be a game at that time, I would highly suggest getting out there to Geodis and watching a game.
100%,
because it is.
In fact,
it is phenomenal.
Yeah, in fact, a buddy of mine from New York is going to be visiting Nashville here soon. And he asked for some places, and I said, I'll get a list. But for sure, if there's a soccer game, go to a Nashville SC game and hit up Printer's Alley. And those are the two must-dos if you're in Nashville. So I think he's going to try and do that. Let's move into our main topic of the day.
Suggest.
Listen, what we've been talking about the last several weeks, obviously, we're talking the playoff matchups. We're coming into the conference finals. We got the Avalanche versus the Oilers and the Rangers versus the Lightning. Let's start off with predictions, surprises, what you're looking for in the Avs versus the Oilers. I'll start us off. I think both of these matchups are amazing. And I think any way the cookies fall, whatever matchup we have in the finals is going to be great. Ideally, I'd like to see Avs Lightning. But I think Oilers Rangers, Oilers Lightning, Avs Rangers would all be fun to watch. I think, however, the Avs are just too strong of a team. And I think they are better coached. I think that they have a better, a better overall roster. And I think the Avs beat the Oilers. What are your thoughts on that matchup?
Everything that you said is smart. It sounds correct. I think that any rational person would absolutely agree with you. I think Edmonton's going to win this series, man. Right. Yeah. I think Edmonton is going to win this series. I absolutely agree with everything you said. Better overall roster, better, what seems like team cohesiveness. I think that to the two players for Edmonton are just the best players on the ice at any given time, and that means it doesn't matter how good the other teams have been. I mean, Edmonton was not as good of a team as Calgary. Calgary was, in my opinion, had a superior roster. Everything now, not to the level of Colorado, but everything you just said, we could have said that before the last series of Calgary and Edmonton. They're just. McDavid and Draisaitl are just playing out of their mind right now. They're getting,
and it's not even those two. Evander Kane as well.
Yeah, they're getting decent enough goaltending that I just see Edmonton winning the series for whatever reason in my head.
Yeah, I mean that it's a definite possibility. I mean it is closer to 50-50 than I think a lot of people think.
Sure,
but I mean I think it comes down to. If Edmonton can get performance from outside those two guys, they have a cakewalk.
See, that's
even if they.
I would normally say that, but I think if they can get performance from those two guys, they're going to have a cakewalk, just like they did through Calgary. I mean, they lost a couple of games, but in tremendous fashion, they lost those couple of games they lost.
Yeah,
this is the team, the one team that can score with Colorado, and I don't think scoring is going to be a problem. Just.
I'm taking the over on all these games.
Yeah, I'm smashing it. And I'm sure
I don't care if it's 9.5. I'm taking it.
The game tonight. I'm sure that we'll go out and it'll be a 2-1 or a 1-2. 1-0 game.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is just a team that I think that Colorado's advantage is taken away. It's their ability to score 3 goals within a minute. Well, this is a team that can also just come back and score 3 goals within a minute on you. So
for sure, I think the difference here is I truly think it's going to be Darcy Kemper versus Mike Smith. I think Darcy Kemper is the superior goalie. Not saying Mike Smith is bad. I think Mike Smith is a good enough goalie for that team. The question is, I think that Darcy Kemper Listen, I think that both goalies are going to be turned into Swiss cheese this round. But I think that Mike Smith is at a disadvantage, and I think that we're going to see a lot of close, high-scoring games where it comes down to whoever has the puck last. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I mean, obviously the goaltending is important. I think it's going to come down to those play one that you've mentioned already, but another on the other side. I would venture to guess whoever of these two have a better series their team will win the series. That's Evander Kane and Nazem Kadri. Those are guys that are just 100%. Are going to be able to come in and be really two-way and kind of get under the skin of and so that's going to be the biggest thing. Who can you get under McDavid's skin? Can you get under McKinnon's skin? These guys are going to be very crucial in my mind. That that
who do you think spends more time in the penalty box this series, Kadri or Kane?
That's a $1 million question right there. It would not surprise me if they both game one tonight get something happen that gets suspended. They get suspended for the rest of this series. That
would be horrible for my fantasy team.
I would have to say probably I would imagine Kane does. Just thought process.
Yeah.
Hey, but Nazem Kadri.
I think it depends on the odds in the game and what he's betting on.
Didn't even think about that. Didn't even think about the odds. So maybe he's betting on that too. So that's always helpful if he's betting in the same direction as you.
Listen, if a bookie is taking bets from Evander Kane for his PIMs, that's on the bookie's fault. He should know better.
That's him. Unless it's the under. Unless it's the under, because he just can't help himself.
All right. So the Rangers versus the Lightning. What's crazy is the Rangers are the home team. They have the home ice advantage because it came down to a tiebreaker and regulation wins. People were very surprised. Even Rangers fans were pleasantly surprised about this. I think this is going to be a good series. I think the Lightning win this in 6 games.
Yeah,
but I this is another matchup where, you know what? I think it's a lot closer to 50-50 than people think.
No,
this is
absolutely.
A good matchup.
I think I'm with you. I think that the Lightning move on here. I think they're just too much. They've been there before. They know how to win games. I mean, they're slicing through teams like butter. I think it's going to be really dependent on how the stars for the Rangers play. I mean, they really need to step it up. Zibanejad, the Breadman, Kreider. If Rangers have a realistic chance, Shesterkin needs to play lights out better than he ever has before. It's the first series that they don't have the goalie advantage. So I think that's definitely worth mentioning against the Rangers. They've been able to scrape out a couple of series. Because of good goaltending.
But also the first series where they have a chance of playing more games at Madison Square Garden, man. And Madison Square Garden can be a place of miracles. So, let's see what happens. I mean, I think if we're sitting here in a couple of weeks and Rangers win this in 7 games, I'm not going to be too surprised. I mean, I would be like, you know what? Yeah, it was a good series.
Oh, yeah, I could absolutely see that. That wouldn't be crazy to me, but I don't think that it's the team that you don't want to see coming in here. Ain't no pressure on the Lightning, back-to-back cup winners, with just sweeping the President's Cup team. This is a team that I think some rest, it plays advantage to you, not the downfall. It's not a young team that has to sit out. I think Nikita Kucherov has been fine. 9 days not playing hockey. I think he'll still remember how to come back and play.
I would not spend a whole season out. Okay, so
I would not be surprised to see the Rangers steal game 1 though.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's move into joke of the week.
The weird.
Corey Perry.
See, I don't like that. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each 6th chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
You're kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, America has won once again. the absolute stubbornness of Americans is undefeated. Boris Johnson announces that to mark the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, they will be bringing back the imperial measurement system to England.
Let's go, baby.
For decades, the rest of the world has scoffed at America for using feet and inches and using the imperial system. And finally, England has said, you know what? Screw it. Let's just give it to them. Let's just go. Let's just use it.
It's just like a bunch of little kids.
Right,
it's like
right when, honestly, the world thought, and a lot of America thought, hey, we might be getting close to go to the metric system.
Let's do it.
England's like, no, we give in. We quit.
It's like giving it to that kid. You almost got that kid out of the toy store. You've almost got him out, okay?
Yeah.
And then at the very end, you're like, fine, you can have a toy. Just go get a toy, whatever toy you want. And you think that child isn't going to get a toy every time they go to the toy store now? We've been doing it for years, man.
I mean, so now the reason he's doing this is to appeal to it's a political move, obviously. He's doing this to appeal to Brexit voters and I guess the Tories, because I think that his political party is at risk of losing this next election cycle pretty bad. He's going to
confuse them.
He's doing this.
He's going to confuse them on how to get to the voting locations. It's how many miles, how many kilomiles.
Yeah. I think what it is that Brexit voters are just contrarian. So he's just like playing into that where he's like, all right, fine. We can be more like Americans, I guess. Let's do that. Let's talk about how many feet and inches away the local McDonald's is. And
it's been super working out for him. It's been like super working. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everything's got to be.
They interviewed they interviewed a bunch of British people, and pretty much most of them, they kind of know what a foot is, but most of the people there don't even know the imperial system. So they're going to have to relearn all this stuff. And they said it could take several years. They're going to have to change the school, the education system. And more than likely, they said this will change back in 4 years.
Yeah, this is not happening.
Maybe 8 years.
So they're just going to spend a bunch of money reprinting books and stuff, and then just like reprinting new books and stuff. Oh my gosh, this is
what an absolute joke. All right. Before we move on to our pop culture of the week, Brandon, why don't you tell us a little bit about our friends over at Manscaped?
Yeah, super proud. We just finished up our trial period with them. We got an official, officially official sponsorship. So support to you for Pucks Out Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who's best in the world in below the waist men's grooming. Their products use precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped Performance Package, the ultimate hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code PUCKSOUT. That's PUCKSOUT. Bobby, double check that for me. You know I'm terrible at spelling. It's PUCKSOUT. Boom. There we go. If my math is correct, and it's usually not, and I think I make that joke every time, but that's 8 million balls, or with a margin of error, plus or minus a few, whatever statistically the margin of error on balls are. I just got in, bro. That new. This seems like a product placement here. It really was just sitting. That new refined.
I mean,
cologne,
it should be product placement. We're doing a sponsored read.
Well, I mean, it seemed like I had it here waiting for it too, but I was like, oh, it's here. But no, man, it smells pretty good. It's not in here, as you can see. But honestly, I'm not even going to get rid of the box. This is dope. I'm going to definitely keep this because it's sweet.
Yeah.
But as I told you,
60% of the time, it works all the time, baby.
Every single time it's worked 60% of the time that I've put it on. So that's pretty impressive. You always touting the hair care products and the shampoo and stuff. I think I'm switching up the game into that. So super excited. But just just to throw a little bit of reminder of kind of some of the features. If you're a new listener and you haven't heard, waterproof technology, so you don't have to worry about it making a mess on the bathroom floor anymore. The Lawnmower 4.0, love it. It's got a nice little nightlight on you. You don't have to worry about getting the right angle at the light. You don't have to worry about needing to do yoga to clean up the old family jewels, man. You can just do it with the light because you can see it. The performance package comes with one of my favorite, the Manscaped boxers and the Shed travel bag. You gotta have it. So
love it,
man. Manscaped, just another reminder, 20% off, free shipping, code PUCKSOUT. That's PUCKSOUT. That's code PUCKSOUT for 20% off, free shipping at Manscaped. Check the ad if you're watching. If you're listening, I know we'll have an ad for you there. Any of our social media, Manscaped or our own, you'll be able to find that code. Don't forget, code PUCKSOUT, PUCKSOUT.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Moving into pop culture, we're talking Kenobi. No spoilers here, but first 2 episodes got released this past Friday. So hello there, and let's get into it. What an absolutely amazing show. I loved it.
Me too.
I see a lot of people talking shit. Obviously, the Star Wars fandom can be toxic and crazy sometimes. I was a super big fan of it. It was amazing.
Me too. I'm super excited about it. I think we had talked at the beginning of Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett, and I think we had talked about it as it was coming out. Well, I think I'd forgotten, watched the last 5 episodes. I love the last 5 episodes of that, by the way. I don't know.
I loved the whole series.
Me too. I did too. A lot of people didn't like the beginning of that as well. I think that this one was
I've noticed
great.
that people. Yeah, I think a lot of people, and really it's just the vocal people on the internet, hate everything that's coming out with Star Wars now. If it's not exactly like the original trilogy, but they hate it, but it can't be too much like the original trilogy. Otherwise, they say it's a ripoff. So they just can't be made happy.
Yeah, we could have nothing. We could get nothing, and that's what we all got for a really long time. Was nothing, and now we're getting something. If you don't like it, don't watch it. That's pretty much it.
I have noticed that.
You're allowed to critique it. I'm not saying you're allowed to critique it, but it should be bad, and you should say, "Oh, it's bad," and you're okay to like it, Bobby. I don't have to like it for you to like it, but that's the problem is that you not liking it means that you want to make it miserable for me liking it, and that's a problem. That's the problem I have with the toxic.
They were for example, and this isn't really a spoiler. I think we can talk about this aspect of it. I mean, people were really hating on the fact that Kenobi was working at the job he had. Cutting the meat, working at a butcher shop or whatever. People were mad at that, saying, "Oh, he's a Jedi. He's too good for that." It's like, the fuck you want him to do, dude?
It's like, dude needed a job, man. He's not on a council
that's
anymore.
Not realistic. That's not realistic. He'd be out saving people, and it's like they go into why he's not doing that,
and they really made it uber ultra
very clear,
very uber ultra clear. Even with the point where they're putting it so on the nose, they have another Jedi character that's living in very close proximity, and they show you him. Again, no spoilers.
Yes,
this is not spoilers. This is all first episode stuff. What happens is, but still, it's just I'm just very confused. I love the fact that the Inquisitors are kind of getting thrown into live action. That we get to 100%. See a little bit of them. That was always a big complaint of folks, was that they're not canon, and the circular lightsabers are not. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Question: Have you ever played the Force Unleashed video games?
Yes, about halfway through the first.
So
you play the one where you play Star Killer.
Star Killer.
Yes.
Yes. They have discussed they're going to change the Force Unleashed is not canon. However, everybody really likes, I think Sam Witherspoon's his name, or Sam Wither or something like that. They really like his character. They love his storyline. So there's been some talk from producers and directors about making him a Inquisitor in canon, and they might introduce his character in Kenobi. They might introduce it in Andor. They're kind of going back and forth. They don't know, but there is some talk about making Starkiller an Inquisitor at some point in the storyline with that same actor. So I'm super excited about that to see where that goes. And the what is it? Fallen Jedi, the
Fallen Order,
Cal Kestis, Fallen Order. Fallen Order. I believe they said that is canon, and that actor will be appearing at some point as well. Hey, so I'm super excited to see all that.
The more the merrier. The more the merrier in this world, in this lore that we get to get into, and we get to learn about, we get to know about. I mean, that's the reason that we're nerds, right? Like, it's not just on the surface stuff. Us especially, not everybody that likes this kind of stuff, but we like to get into like the depth and the lore, and like, Game of Thrones, like, whose family, like back in the day betrayed another family, and that's what led us to here. So this is good. This is good for Star Wars. And they're not shortchanging it is the biggest thing. Like, you don't have to like the story, but they're not giving you crap on a plate and just expecting you to gobble it up because it says Star Wars. I feel like they're at least trying to put some production value into it.
Yeah.
Whether or not you necessarily agree with the lore or the story. But guess what? You're not writing for Star Wars, so you don't get to choose the lore. You're just some guy on your
100%.
couch.
Yeah. Let's jump in. Let's jump into what are you binging? I haven't been watching too much TV lately, but on YouTube, I found this gold mine of old YouTube videos. Some of these, like, the series of videos start back from before YouTube had the HD option. So some of these videos are like in 720p. Nice. But it is a comedian who is on a D&D podcast that I listen to, Jake Horowitz, who's on the Not Another D&D podcast, and it's called Jake and Amir, which was like from the original College Humor days. And pretty much it's like I've sent you a couple of videos of theirs. Two guys who sit at a desk who just bicker, but it's like such insane commentary that it's just outrageous.
Right.
So they have about like somewhere like 300, 400 videos on YouTube, and just doing that. And it is such an amazing thing. And like when they ended the show probably 5 or 6 years ago, the last one was them like, it showed them bickering at the thing, but then they get called into the office. It's like, hey guys, get the fuck in here. They're like, you guys have got to stop this. For like 10 years now, no, you guys don't get any work done. All you do is bicker. Seriously, this has got you're fired. And one of them was like, what if we turned it into a show? And they're like, what are you talking about? And so like they did like a 3 episode finale. But I'm still like, I'm going back and watching all that. It's very funny.
That
and
sounds
some
a lot
of them
like. Well, it sounds a lot like to me like that's your version of my Life According to Jimmy. Like sometimes like I'll just go and watch like
Life According to Jimmy.
I'll just go and watch like I'll just get on a binge trip of just watching some old Jimmy Tatro videos. So I feel you on that. I feel you on that for sure.
Dude, I love the old Jimmy Tatro videos that like the jacked 3D and stuff.
Oh, dude, he's so funny, man.
Yeah, it's wild that he became such a big actor now. Or a relatively big actor.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, not like small time. Like people know him and stuff. Did you ever get into the Real Bros of Simi Valley?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, you got to watch all of them. They're too funny.
Yeah, I need to. What have you been binging, dude?
I've been watching, a little bit. I've been watching you play, definitely on Twitch, dude. You've been
awesome,
slaying it, knocking it out a lot. But got into, because I needed to get a new show sort of like this, because We Own This City, the premiere or the finale just happened last night. It's completely wrapped, 6-episode miniseries, so good. You have to go and watch it if you haven't watched it all. But I've been watching the Godfather of Harlem with Forrest Whitaker on Hulu. It's about Bumpy Johnson, which is like a black crime boss in Harlem in the 50s and 60s. but it really incorporates a lot of the real characters of the time. Malcolm X, you get to see Cassius Clay before he was Muhammad Ali. Some of the old mobsters of that time frame, John Bonanno, Vincent the Chin Gigante. Super cool. I'm really liking it. Obviously it's probably dramatized, but the characters are real. You can definitely go kind of like look up the characters and have kind of a loose timeline of what happened. But loving that. Been watching Better Call Saul with Stephanie, getting her caught up because season 5 is now out. So been watching a little bit here and there. But, obviously
Nice.
Playoffs taking up some of my time too. So
Nice, yeah. Been watching a lot of hockey. All right, let's move into what's snapping your stick, guys.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All right, here is one that I noticed the other day. I was watching the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I saw about 8 commercials to get me to watch the Stanley Cup playoffs.
they want to keep you
I feel like
watching.
they're wasting a lot of money there. Like, yeah, I get it. You've got me, and I promise you, anyone else who's seeing this commercial right now, you've got them as well. I get playing this commercial at other times, but playing this during the Stanley Cup playoffs, maybe save your money a little bit.
Well, they're probably not paying
It's just
money. It's probably their ad space, so they're probably able to do it for free. So it's probably just
they have to pay the
subliminal
network.
marketing.
They have to pay they're having to pay the network for the Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, it's like the NHL.
But they are the
it's
network.
No,
I'm saying if they're in conjunction,
yeah.
I'm sure it's in conjunction though. They're
Possibly.
it's like 2-sided.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
I'm not battling.
yeah,
with, I'm not
possibly.
battling with you.
But it's also just annoying. It's like because it's a lot. It's like
we're talking
lot.
about it.
Like
We're talking about it.
it's true. Yeah, yeah.
So
And I promise you, most people who are hearing us talk about it, they're probably also watching the Stanley Cup playoffs.
That's true. But maybe they're not, and they're like, I should go watch those commercials.
Yeah, I heard these guys talk about a commercial. I know I just got done listening to them talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs, but now that they've talked about this commercial,
What
I'm
should
in.
I watch tonight? Mine is also Stanley Cup related. If you'll look at the game time of tonight's game, it's odd. It's at 7 p.m. Central Time, which would make it at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right? But then that would make it 6 p.m. Mountain Time and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. So why do we all of a sudden not care about the Mountain Timers and the Pacific Timers that we're going to make them have this game so early? But we couldn't have done that for Nashville, Colorado when there wasn't a game.
It's the conference championship. They don't have any other time slots to compete with tonight.
I guess I get it.
I'm with you.
I guess
I'm
I
with
get
you.
It. But there was other times in which this could have been done. Yeah, no, I get their point of view. I get their point of view, but their point of view was still valid during the semifinals when we didn't have games and we had to wait until 9:00 to watch Nashville play, and there was nothing happening before. So that snaps my stick. Yeah. That now that you want to make sure you get some eyes on this. That you don't care about the folks in Colorado's market. You don't care about the folks in Edmonton's market because I'm just snapping my stick. I'm glad it's at 7 because I'd like to watch it.
Now, also, there's also we could take the answer from Pred's Facebook, which is there's a conspiracy theory there's a conspiracy from the NHL directly about the Preds.
Ooh,
that's
it's intriguing. We did make the playoffs this year,
but we did lose.
We did lose, but they know that every team doesn't make the playoffs, right?
I don't think they know that.
Was it a playoff conspiracy?
I think it was. All right, guys. Hey, before we head out today, we want to wish good luck to all the athletes at the Tennessee Special Olympics heading to Orlando to compete in the USA Games. from Pugs Out Podcast in Nashville. Good luck. Go out there, kick some butt, and hey, do Tennessee, do us all proud.
Do us proud.
And continue being awesome.
Do us proud. Keep being awesome. And it sounds like you're going to Orlando, so make somebody take you to Disney. Okay? Go have yourself a good time. You deserve it. Win a gold for us. Bring it back home. Show those Floridians and those Georgians and those Mississippians. Show them what's up. Bring it back home to Tennessee so we can tout and show it off. Good luck, guys.
Yeah.
And
Good
girls.
luck.
And girls. Good luck, guys and girls. I'm sorry.
And anyone else.
Anybody.
But all right, guys and girls. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.